You good? Everybody good? No serious feelings hurt? Like, I don't know, nobody died? Salary come late? No? Okay. Because today we're going to talk about a little drama. And I'm sorry for my German viewers, but this one concerns a little bit of internationality. Because today we're going to talk a little bit Great White Drama. So moin people, what's going on? Welcome back to the Nerd Crate. It's been a minute that I've done it as English, but I felt the need to. Because, I mean, let's be frank, that thing is international, right? This is not only an English thing, and I feel like there needs to be, like I said before, a sense of internationality, and also that everybody, or at least you should expect to understand this. So what exactly happened? Everybody's got their panties in a bunch, pretty much, except for the people who liked it. Of course, the people that didn't like it say it's cheap and bad, right? I got a news for you. It's not. It's actually not. But let's rewind for a minute, because it's finally here, right? Happy Ramen Day. Great White is finally out. Yes, there were a few delays. There were big needs to revision the molds and all that stuff. Ace updated you to bits about it, right? Right. So now this thing is out and everybody's rushing in. I got this. I finally got this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to flip this here. I'm open the doors and I'm going to do the fin. Why does it break? This is cheap stuff. What the fuck is this KO? This knockoff bullshit? This is a scalper company. What the eek? And I'm sitting here and I know I'm not alone. There are a lot of other people that also seen the comments, posted comments themselves, replied to comments. Some are okay, some are just, I mean, really plain old ridiculous stuff. People, especially, what I enjoy the most out of those comments are the ones that don't even have this thing. They decided specifically to avoid this junk, so they don't even know what they talk about, but they still blast out their opinion for everybody to I almost cursed, but I didn't, for everybody to hear. So of course there are, let's call them problems, you know, to give them a little something, because they mean it's got problems, it's cheap, the plastic is brittle and too thin and breaks easily and all that stuff. Another newsflash, it's not. It's ABS plastic. So it's not brittle, it's not thin. The thing that comes down to, everything it comes down to is down to physics. There's a lever. Let's indulge here for a minute. Alright, we got these fins here. That's the breaking point right there. People lose their collective minds over the fact that this right here can break very easily. Yes, these are thin, but they are not brittle. And they also don't break easily. They just don't. This thing works just fine. This is a great piece. It's not a toy like M.A.S.K in the days. It's not mass market produced. If you throw it against the wall, it will shatter into 1,000 pieces, but so would M.A.S.K. People are just ham-fisted. They just think they can do stuff. They think or at least in my mind, there needs to be some logic. I need to adhere this to some sort of logic, or I'm gonna lose my mind. because that's one of the reasons why I'm leaving the hobby next year, because there is so much idiocy and so much unrealism in this hobby, it's not even funny anymore. And I don't want to surround myself with this anymore. There are a lot of cool people, but this I don't need anymore. Back to topic. We got these fins, and people say they are brittle. What do? They take these things, and inside the box, right? In box, they come like this. We made a video on this as a Collectors Bay. Dennis put effort into it, put a video up, additionally to Ace's video where he says what's going to happen if you do this and that, and showed how this is actually done. Yet still people unbox this, don't adhere to the pretty much age-old logic of RTFM, read the fucking manual. They are too proud of themselves, you know, masculinity is cooking up too high, so I don't need a manual, I know how this works, I don't know, whatever, they have transformed a million transformers or whatever, I can do this. And they bring this thing up directly to the point here where this little nugget hits the rear bumper, and they push and it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work the way I want it to? And they push, and then this area here breaks. Yes, of course it breaks. Why? Two main reasons. A, they put it up here. They grabbed it here and they moved it up. With this, you can do that. But not if you try to push it. Then of course you will break it. It's called a lever. It's simple physics. We've all been there. So, first thing you ought to do is grab it here. And then don't push it up. There's this little nugget. It won't go any further. I'm sorry if I have to talk to you like a kid, but I really feel I need to. So you grab it here, but you don't push it up. You grab it and you slide it over. Alright? And then you can bring it right into position. Not a problem. See what I did there? And I've done this 5 or 6 times. Easy. Dennis had done this on this channel, I don't know how many times, probably ahead of the video. We both handled the pre-production sample, which, because it's a pre-production sample, frankly speaking, should have been more brittle, but it wasn't. It was sturdy, it worked the same way. And you see what I've done? I put this down, I put this up, I put this down, I put this up, I put this down. Why doesn't it break? Maybe because I'm Dr. fucking Strange. No, I'm actually not. I just know how to use stuff. I know how to use stuff. I paid a lot of money for this. I read the instructions. I follow Ace. I follow Ramen Toy. I see all the videos and I adhere to what I'm told. That's all there is to it. And that's anything a little bit, at least even, about pride. It's just about listening. You can try and do it the other way, of course. But here comes the problem. And that's what's been happening. And that's why I'm doing this video. You can do it this way, but then you got to own up to it. You got to own up to it and you got to learn up before you speak. That's the thing. People come in there in those groups and call this thing, just break it down a little bit. Call this thing a knockoff or a bootleg. A bootleg, I had to learn up from Dennis. A bootleg is a de facto, what is it? An unofficial, unofficial, unsanctioned recording of a live concert. That's what a bootleg is. So we're talking about music. We're talking about a CD, maybe an MP3 or a FLAC file, whatever, any kind of recording of a concert. Meaning, bootleg is not a word you use with this thing. It's also not a knockoff. It can't be a knockoff. Why cannot be? Why can't it be? Because a knockoff first has to have. That is a fact. It has to have an original. Meaning there was, excuse me, this catched another figure. There needs to be an official, meaning, or an original of this. This would have been needed to exist beforehand. That is not an opinion, that is a fact. For this to be a knockoff, there would have needed to be first another one of this, where Ramen Toy could have taken this and molded it off one-on-one to get this. And this never existed beforehand. And I don't talk customs. There are a lot of cool customs out there. There are. Of Porsche 928, ripped it apart, put up some even put some mechanics in there, and they made a good piece, but it's just not the original. So this can't be a knockoff. Per definition, this thing that we got right here is Ramen Toy's own original product. I'm not talking Ramen Toy owning M.A.S.K or taking M.A.S.K or calling this M.A.S.K. I mean purely and only this engineered piece. This has engineering behind it. Plain and simple. All the shapes had to be drawn from scratch. All the mechanics in there had to be thought up from scratch, put in here, able to fit inside the shapes, fit inside the forms, and able to function properly. This is Ramen Toy's own, yeah, we can call it actually engineered product. It really is. Like I said, not M.A.S.K or any of that. I'm not talking Shark. That idea was Kenner's. That was the idea. And yes, we can talk third party and licenses and how they apparently steal from them or whatnot, but that's not what we're doing. So they call this a knockoff. That's wrong. They call this a cheap piece of junk, which it's also not. That's coming from people that don't know anything about the process behind this. We have also been educated on the process of ramen, and they actually make it rather old school. I'm not talking in depth here because that would be somewhat of company secret, you know, but they make it pretty much an old school way. But nevertheless, even in this old school way, there is still a sense of original idea. Let's call it a draft. And then you need to revision that. And this is all stuff from scratch, where parts need to be exchanged, drawings need to be made, this needs to be engineered, this needs to be shaped, tools need to be formed in order for that to actually work. This takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of idea, a little bit of gray matter in the hat. This takes a lot of dedication and a lot of money. It just is. Like, do you actually think that artwork was for free? Like how this logo was done, how this whole package was done to accommodate the toy, fitting smoothly inside a little top secret shipper box. This all costs. And yes, this thing costs 200 bucks, but it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. It's not cheap, it's not brittle. I will review this later in the week, or maybe next week, and we will do the reverse version where I show you how the turbines go back in, also where the fins go back in, and it won't break. I guarantee that 100%. You made the mistake. You there sitting in front of this video, listening to me, maybe laughing your ass off over the clown that I may be, that I believe in this, and thinking that I know the answers. And the fact is, in this matter, yes, I know the answers. Because I'm in talks with Ace. We are in talks with Ace. We have been, and a lot of other people, all the steps of the way with this production. We've seen this. And I come from a genre of work where we actually have to engineer, where we have to revision, where we have to do stuff anew. And it costs a lot of money. And you don't know that. That is just the simple fact. And that's what it costs here. And in this is a lot of cost, a lot of dedication, like I said beforehand. and the materials are actually not thin. You trying to transform it the way that you wanted it to do without looking up the instructions, actually seeing how this works, making it wrong, breaking it due to that. That is what happened. Nothing else. Plain and simple. It's not junk. If you don't like third party, if you want to adhere to vintage, to the OG, okay, that's your choice. That's your opinion, and I respect that. I accept that. But to call this junk, but not even have that in hand, that is where the audacity comes in. Because I don't sit in front of a family and saying, I don't like Brussels sprouts, just as a strong comparison. But you've never tasted Brussels sprouts. I don't like them. That's pretty much what's happening here. But you have not even tasted them. Yeah, I know, but I don't like them. You don't even know. Try it first. I don't say buy it. I'm pretty sure maybe you have friends. Maybe someone will loan it. And check it out. But don't go on the interwebs and just call trash for the sake of talking trash. That's what I've been saying all along. Know what you're talking about. That's what I'm saying. Also, people are, this is supposed to be M.A.S.K, and why can I put can I put the M.A.S.K on Gloria or Porsche? Very important. And the thing is, that was part of the concept. Same as the fins. The fins are, in order to glide this thing through the water, they need to be thin. They are thin, yeah, but they don't break easy. And the same kind of decision for the design was made with Porsche White, their Gloria Baker. They wanted to have the hair cartoon accurate, but the way this hair flows in the 80s style, how are you going to put a M.A.S.K on there? That's just physically not possible. So there were surveys held by Ramen, and people decided, like they decided on Matt talking on the gull wing, nah, the eyes don't look too cool, let's go without eyes, let's do the toy look. That's what they've gotten. And same with this. They were asked, what do you want? Do you want, I believe it was, do you want an exchangeable piece of hair that's down there as a floating piece? I believe that's what an option. I don't 100% remember anymore, it's over a year. Or do you want an exchangeable head? Or do you want to compromise with a hairstyle, something like that? There were options, and people decided specifically on this hairstyle. And you pop up the head, and you put on the M.A.S.K, the M.A.S.K hat. That is, that's what the decision was. People were good with that, and people are good with that. I'm not gonna drag this out too much. I'm just saying that this is another one of those cases where I wish people would think more, actually think, before they would actually talk, before they also actually take something in their hands and just pretty much rip it up and then blame the company. You made a mistake. Own up to that. Don't blame the company. You decided to buy it. You got it at home. You decided to not read the manual, how it's done. Also didn't, I mean, that could be the case that you didn't get the instructions. That I could somewhat accept. But then at least look up a video in the internet or anything. Try to get some information instead of just trying to do it, breaking it, and then blaming the company. And when you are started to get educated by people who know what's going on, have no problem with this thing, transform it the way it's supposed to be, and surprise behold, it actually holds up, you start lashing out. You don't do that. What are you, 12? I don't get people. I don't get people. I needed to vent here. Anyway, it's Wednesday. Happy hump day. I hope you enjoyed. I hope we discuss in the comments. Put it up if you're positive to this, if you're negative to this. But Stay friendly or I will boot your ass. This is not a request. Be good, be well. Bye-bye.